ETF fans. Mike here with today's video insight. Today I want to dive into a little bit, maybe ETF 301 or 201 at least on our ETF action platform, and talk a little bit about our history tool. Our history tool used to be behind a paywall. It is now free to all to access, not incomplete, but at the price and return level. And what the history tool does is it provides historical data trends across any ETF or mutual fund to allow you to go beyond the database, which is point in time data, and to look at trends across different strategies. So to get to the history tool, what you want to do is go down to our home office section, go to the history side panel tool, and it's going to open up a blank page with a search bar at the top. In the search bar, you can type in any ETF or mutual fund, and it will pull in that data. For today's example, I'm going to use the iShares MSCI USA Momentum Factor ETF. I'm doing this because MTUM is a very high turnover strategy based on, well, it can be a very high turnover strategy based on dynamics in the market. What sectors, what companies are exhibiting the highest momentum. That's how they rebalance on a quarterly basis. So I use that as an example. When you first load up the page, what you're going to notice is it starts with the price and return page that I'm looking at. So it's going to provide historical since inception, shares outstanding, AUM, daily flows data, volume data, price, NAV, premium and discount versus price NAV, your market price return, your NAV return, and then any distributions that were paid and any splits that were done since the history of the product. So just a great way if you're want to go through and look at, what's the largest flow day in the history of this strategy. You can sort and see the largest outflow was May 26, 2021 at 1.7 billion. The largest inflow was 525. Obviously, we just found a rebalance trade because they're similar dates there, 3 days apart. Clearly a rebalance trade, create, redeem for the tax efficiencies of the fund. But taking a quick note here, while you're on this page, you also want to note that there's a little charts integration tool. So this charts tool is going to allow you to chart all the data that's down below in the A grid. So it's currently on shares outstanding. So if I just look here, I can see here's the shares outstanding since inception for MTUM. You can see those little heartbeat trades in a few places where they did rebalances, but obviously been seeing steady outflows here for a couple of years. For this particular product, I can change this data tab. If I say I wanted to chart out flows, I'm currently looking at daily flows since inception. So I go out here, I can see daily inception, and then you can really see these heartbeat trades now where they're doing those rebalances. But also, let's say I wanted to aggregate that up and I wanted to look more at annual flows. I could change my frequency to annual, and I could see, okay, here's my flows annually over those different times. Note when I do that, it also updates the data table down below to be annual. So I'm looking at annual data here now down below in the data grid as well. So you can do that across any of the different funds. If you want to see like historical premium discounts, for premium discounts, you always want to look at daily. So I'll switch that back to daily. And you can see, tiny premium and discounts historically for this strategy, which trades, obviously, if I look at volume, a significant amount of volume on a daily basis. So very liquid product. So that's price and return page. Now let's say I wanted to go in and I wanted to look at, let's just take a look at GIC sectors, over the last 5-10 years for this strategy. You'll see down below, it's all saved on a monthly basis. We save our composition and fundamental data, store it and display it on a monthly basis. We have it daily, but it's a little bit of overkill, so we just show it on a monthly basis. So you'll see that frequency daily is not available. It's just monthly, quarterly, and annually. And right now, I'm seeing all of my different breakdowns, so I can see the breakdown of the current allocations. This is really where the chart tool comes in very handy. If I open up the chart tool, you can see right now I'm just looking at communication services, right? So this is the 5-year breakdown of communication services. You can see how it's changed over time for this strategy. You can do that for every single sector, or the way I like to look at it is I like to stack them up into one group. And now I'm looking at this fund, historically, and I can see, very big changes going on across this fund over different time periods. Obviously, I could open that up into full screen to make it a little easier to view. Similarly, let's say I wanted to take a look at equity characteristics and see how this strategy has changed based on different key ratios, valuation multiples, things of that nature. So let's just take a look and go maybe look at forward price earnings, next 12-month price earnings over the last 5 years. What we'll see is some pretty wide swings, right? You can see back in January of 2020, 2021, it was probably loading up on a lot of the high-priced tech names because they were exhibiting the most momentum at that time. And then it looks like, the market sold off and it started reallocating back down to more market neutral names. And then even here during the 2022 period, it was very positioned. It's a momentum strategy. Value was outperforming and it started allocating to value stocks. And then more recently, we can see that it started reallocating back to those growth stocks because they've been outperforming significantly over the past year. So just wanted to highlight the history tool. It's a great way to go deep into a product to understand, is this product, what's the turnover of this product? How quickly does it react to market? Is it more of a market capitalization strategy? It's going to be pretty slow to change and, change more over time. But an excellent tool to get all that information. Note there is a download tool here that will download all of the data in the database for you. So you can take this offline, build your own charts, things of that nature. Definitely encourage you all to check it out. If you have any questions on today's video or any questions at all, as always, please reach out to team at ETF Action. Thanks for watching today's video, and I hope you have a wonderful day. Thanks.